We're being recorded. Stay tuned. Are you all okay with that? Too late. Okay. Shazam, thank you for that song. Thank you for the memory of Meredith, knowing that she's always with us. Um, the cord is in here. This morning, as I was thinking about the topic for what I would be speaking on, I kept getting this let love lead. And this has been a theme starting last year. And it just feels more important now that we need to be in that space of allowing love to lead us through these times. So first, good morning, beloved community. I'm so honored to be here and to gather with you all today. You all have had the theme of guided by spirit with a loving heart. So as Kathy mentioned, my title for today is called Let Love Lead, a world that works for all. I had the timer set on here. You have to give me a heads up. So a world that works for all is not just an ideal, it's a spiritual mandate. Love is the blueprint, and we are the builders. There's a scripture that says, it's 1 John 3:18, let us love not in word, neither in tongue, but in deed and in truth. This month, we also celebrate Black History Month. And this is a time of remembrance, recognition, and renewal. As many of you all know, that we are in a time of great uncertainty, division, and change. But as New Thought teaches us, the world is not happening to us, it's happening through us. If we are able to build a world that truly works for all, we must let love lead. We must move beyond the words and into action, beyond comfort and into courage. Today, I want to reflect on the wisdom of two great spiritual leaders. One is Reverend Howard Thurman, and the other one is Congressman John Lewis, who both embodied love in action. Their teachings remind us that love is not passive. It is a force for transformation, a guiding principle for justice, and the foundation for creating a world that truly works for all. Reverend Howard Thurman, he's a theologian, a mystic, and a spiritual guide to the civil rights. And he was actually here in the Bay Area in San Francisco. So many people have had an opportunity to study with him and to learn from him. And in his memory, he's still a great teacher to us all. He wrote, there is something in every one of you that waits and listens for the sound of the genuine in yourself. Love starts within. If we are to let love lead, we must first do the inner work. Listening deeply, aligning with our divine essence, and recognizing that love is the very fabric of our being. It is who we are. New Thought principles affirm that our consciousness creates our reality. Think about that for a moment. What consciousness are you using? What's the reality that you're creating? But think about what's the reality that you would like to create. Never mind who's in office, never mind the people that are there. What is the world that you want to live in? What does that look like? Allow yourself to go to that place and be in that place of love. Allow love to lead your actions. If we nurture a consciousness of love through prayer, meditation, and spiritual practice, we become channels for that love in the world. Howard Thurman reminds us that this inner work is not self-indulgence. It is preparation for action. So let me ask you, how do we nurture love within ourselves first so that it becomes the foundation of our outward actions? Think about that for a moment. Think about what can you change within yourself to love yourself more, to allow the love that you have for yourself to be that outward action in the world. Congressman John Lewis, he had this phrase. Many of you all know him or have heard of him. He's truly a man of great faith and moral courage. He famously urged us to get into good trouble, necessary trouble. But what was at the heart of this call? Love. Love as justice. Love as action. Love as the willingness to stand up, speak out, and walk forward, even in the face of opposition. This is what we're facing, so many of us are facing right now. Lewis did not see love and justice as separate. He understood that loving our neighbor means advocating for fairness, dignity, and equity. His work reminds us that love is not always gentle. It sometimes takes the form of disruption, challenging systems that harm, and standing firm in the truth. New Thought philosophy teaches that our thoughts and actions shape our reality. So when we engage in good trouble, motivated by love, we are not just resisting injustice. We're actively co-creating a more just world. Love in action is what builds a world that truly works for all. Where in your life, or in our lives, are we being called to engage in good trouble? This is that time right now to step out of your comfort zone, to go into the space of love, but to create good trouble. Sometimes when people, I see people sometimes say, oh, there goes trouble. We can say, wait a minute, there's good trouble right there, because good trouble right now is creating a world that works for all. This is that time that in this place of where we are, where we're living in a time of social upheaval, political division, and global uncertainty, fear and anger can be easy reactions. But we are called to something higher. We are called to something much greater than what we're seeing on the news, what we're seeing when we're opening up Facebook or going online, and these messages that are happening. Yes, things are happening in our world right now. How do we respond to those activities that are taking place? Are we in this place of holding this place of love? So the questions that before us, how do we move through these times with love? I'll offer you some advice, some information, and it may not be hard, it may not be easy. This is a process, and it takes time, it takes courage. The first thing is, see the divine in all. That's the biggest piece of it. That when you see someone on the news that irritates you, you see someone in your family that's irritating you, that you have different belief systems, that whatever it is, see the divine in all. My thing is, see God in everything, in everyone that you encounter, because God created each and every individual that we're encountering right now. So God is in each one. They may not all be acting that way, but God is in each one. New Thought, it teaches us that oneness of all life, love invites us to see the divine in every person. This means moving beyond judgment, practicing radical compassion, and embracing even those with whom we disagree. Another act that we can do, act with courage and conviction. Like Thurman and Lewis, we must translate love into action. This may mean serving in our communities, standing up for justice, or simply being a non-anxious presence in a chaotic world. How do you be the peace in the chaos that's happening around us? How do you show up as peace? These are not easy. For some, it may be easy. Some people may show up in this way every day. That I'm the peace. No matter what's happening in my world right now, I am peace. I am peace. The world has no effect on me. There are people that move through the world like that. Because when you stand in that space of knowing who and whose you are, that center of peace, it moves you through any circumstance. The other thing, and I mentioned it earlier, hold the vision of a world that works for all. Love is not naive, it is visionary. So when we affirm a world of peace, equity, and justice, we anchor ourselves in spiritual truth and open the way for transformation. We are the world that we want to see. We are the change that we want to see happen in this world. This is that opportune time right here and right now to be able to stand in that place, go within, and trust. And sometimes we may not even know what it is that we're to do. My thing in the morning, sometimes when I get up or if I'm facing difficult situations, I'll turn to spirit within. What do I need to know about this situation? How am I to show up in this situation? And the answers, if you do that, you may get some amazing answers. It may surprise you because something may say, go hug that person, or go shake that person's hand, or go smile at that person. And in your mind, it's like, I don't want to have anything to do with that individual right there. Nope. But the thing about it, it's about your peace of mind. And then when you're in having this calm peace of mind, that energy goes out into the world. I've shared with people before that sometimes when we get into disagreements with people, when we go back and forth and we battle, if I say something negative to you and you say something negative to me, it keeps that negative energy going. Allow people to have their space. If they need to vent, let them vent. What I've done and I've shared with others is as they're in their discomfort mode, it's what I call it, it's like when they're in their arguing mode, in my mind, I say, I love you. I love you. I love you. I don't have to say it out loud. This is the thought that I send out as I'm talking to them. And if you wait long enough, there's an energetic that happens. There's something that shifts because sometimes they may just shut up. And it's like, and you'll sit there and stand there. It's like, okay. And so you speak your word of love. You speak what's true for you. You don't have to do this in an argumentative way. You don't have to fight fire with fire. Fight fire with love. That anger, that all of the emotions, the negative emotions that are coming towards you. How do we fight that with love? This is that time to remind ourselves of who we are. Even when it feels scary as I don't know what. Take that time when you get up in the morning. Do a meditation. Do a prayer. My friend Lonnie, she walks labyrinths. And it's such an amazing experience. Excuse me. Because as you're walking into this labyrinth, you're taking in what it is that you want to leave in the center of that space. You're walking through it, and the maze, if you've never seen a labyrinth, you have to check them out. It's such a peaceful experience. But you're walking into it, and you leaving in what you want to let go of. And then on your way coming out of that labyrinth, you're bringing out the love, the peace, the joy that you want to bring out into the world, that you're embodying for yourself. When I've lived in different places, I've moved from here to Georgia to Texas and then back to Georgia and back here. But it's so interesting because each time I went to a different state, a different city, one of the first things that I went to go look for is there a labyrinth nearby? No matter what city I was in, I've come across some small ones and I've come across some really big ones. Just recently, last year, I was up in Unity Village and they have this huge labyrinth that's out there, it's outside. And many people can walk it at different times, but it is such an amazing experience. They also have online these labyrinths that you can print out and actually use to kind of walk through with your finger with a pencil. Allow yourself, when you get angry, find something that brings you peace. Find something that brings you some joy in that right now moment to help take you away from all that's happening in the world right now. The change that we can make is, how do I want to see this world? Allow that to be my guide. Allow that to be your guide, or whatever it is that may come to you. How do you show up in a world that feels very uncomfortable right now for so many people? So many people are in fear and in anger and in angst about what's happening next. Stay in this right now moment, because in this right now moment, the seeds that you plant in thought, in prayer, in energy, it goes out into the world. And you can see the manifestation eventually. You may not see it right away, but know that something is happening. When we talk about with sending our thoughts out, I think about, when we want to manifest something and you plant the seed into the ground, and then all of a sudden we get impatient. It's like, wait a minute, it's not happening yet. It's like planting a flower and you're waiting for it to sprout, but then you go back and start digging it up. It's like, nope, you're not happening fast enough. Come on. But then what happens is that negates that energy that you sent out into the world. There's a patience that happens with when we set the intention, when we set a manifestation in place, when we speak our word out into the world of what we want to see. There's a patience that has to take place. And in that patience, sometimes all the muck is coming up to the surface right now, because that's how I look at it. All of the negative energy, all of the muck and stuff that's been building and building and building for so many decades, so many years, that is now starting to come to the surface, that people are starting to now truly reveal who they are. And we get to see, and we get to bless them in this journey that they're on. But we know that there is something greater that's unfolding, greater than anything that we can ever imagine. Some things may show up, may change, that we may not see in our lifetime. We set these intentions for ourselves, for our generations to come behind us, to allow this to be a world that works for all. We do this in a place of love, leading from love. Open your heart wide open. I know so many times, it's like I've had disagreements with family members, and I'm telling on myself. I still have a family member that I'm not really close with anymore, but I have to bless her heart. But I realize that there are things that have taken place in my family dynamic that doesn't work for me anymore. And it doesn't mean that I love her at a distance, but I don't need to be in direct communication all the time. But I send her love and I bless her, and I trust that there's a shift that's happening. I haven't quite seen it yet, but I know it's coming. And same thing happens with the world. We may not see it, regardless of who's in office, who the administration is. The work that they're here to do is just revealing who they are. But what we know is that, how do we show up in protest? And you said you were protesting. There are so many people that have been protesting for different rights. And to truly make this a world that works for all, when it feels like the rug is being snatched from under you, You don't know what to do or where to go. Go within. Tap that inner knowingness within you that's guiding you. Ask, how may I serve today? How may I show up today? What is mine to do on this day? And allow the answer to come to you. Now, I would say don't be surprised, but sometimes we may get surprised. But don't be surprised because you're asking for something different. And so when that answer shows up, follow it. See where it takes you. And if there's any kind of doubt, ask, well, what if this information that I received is actually true? What if this is what I'm supposed to do? What if I'm supposed to go run around the neighborhood with a flag saying, it's like, let love lead, or a t-shirt and says, let love lead, or whatever it is. I've seen, what was it, on YouTube, or I've seen it on different places that people have these signs and it says free hugs. Because we never know where a person is in any given moment. And sometimes that might be what a person may need, and they may be too afraid to come and ask. They may need an ear to listen to what they're doing or what's going on in their world. Let love lead to allow you to open up yourself to something greater. This is that time. This is the moment right here. So I have this affirmation, and then I'll do the prayer after this one. But just allow your eyes to close and just take in this affirmation. I am a channel for divine love. I move through this world with courage, wisdom, and compassion. I let love lead, and I help create a world that works for all. May we carry this truth forward, not just in word, but in deed and in truth. And in this moment, we take this time to just give thanks for all that has been presented to us in this, up until this moment and beyond. I give thanks for this day that Spirit has created, bringing all of us together in this place called the Home of Truth. I give thanks for the knowingness that right where I am, God is, and all truly is well. In this right now moment, the seeds have been planted for change. The seeds to transform this world into the world that we want to be a part of, live in, to experience in love. That it brings us all together, beloved communities together from all over the world. Not just our families, not just our spiritual communities, but communities all over the world. That we get to come together, hearts wide open, tears falling down our faces, being vulnerable with who we are, what works for us, what's not working for us, and knowing that we have soft places to land in. That soft place is landing in the love and the arms of God. That these loving arms carry us and guide us and move us into our right and perfect places, moves us into our right and perfect homes, moves us into our right and perfect, whatever it is that we're calling forth, employment opportunities, family dynamics, whatever it is. This love of God embodies us. It is who we are, that we are creators as God, with God, through God. This is that time right now to just allow yourself to just be. To give thanks for the music, for the words, for all that is happening in our lives and in our affairs. We give thanks for beloved Meredith, knowing that her presence is here, right here with us right now. That we welcome her into this space. And all of our ancestors that we have carried with us, that walks with us, we give thanks for them, knowing that in this right now moment, they are with us. They are holding us up. They are carrying us forward to do the fight, to be the good trouble that we want to see in the world. that good trouble of love, that good trouble of love in action. I am grateful for this time that we have come here together, knowing that this day is already blessed, knowing that all is well, regardless of appearances. We are the change that we want to see in the world. We allow our hearts to go forth and touch each individual that we may encounter, and touch Mother Gaia, that we bless her in this moment. In this absolute time, I give thanks for this prayer, for this opportunity to be here in service, knowing all is good because I know God is good all the time. So I bless this time we have together, knowing that it is already done. And I anchor this prayer with, and so it is. Amen. Ashe.